us as well. Yeah, and you're kind of feeling like, shucks, I haven't actually got to everything I needed to get to, right?
Yeah, it's just like a little bit of anxiety about that, but yeah, it's good to. I always enjoy my weekends because I tend to work pretty hard during the week, so weekends are just like nothing.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, well, that's us. Let's go. We are live on Facebook, and I just want to welcome everybody to the Lifeline's Friendly Friday in conversation with like-minded entrepreneurs who like to share and share alike. And today we are joined by the marvelous Marlon August, who's going to be talking a little bit about branding versus marketing. So I think it's going to be an interesting topic for both him and myself. And he joins us from a Story Advantage. So thanks to you, Marlon, for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking out your time. As we've just said, there's so little of it, and we all want to get into the weekend and try and rest as much as we can, I guess, to kind of recoup for the next week to come. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on, Megan. Really excited to have this discussion with you. So yeah, it is Happy Friday though.
It always is Happy Friday, and even happier the warmer it becomes, although I think we're dreading some colder temperatures in Joburg tomorrow, but other than that, it's always Happy Friday. So let's just do a quick intro to introduce Marlon. For a lot of business leaders, marketing is a waste of money. They tend to overcomplicate the process and invest in campaigns that don't bring a positive return. Marlon has worked with businesses in various niches to build marketing campaigns that have generated millions. He believes that everyone has a story that is worth telling, that anyone can inspire their customers or prospects into action by using the right strategy that connects and sells. Not just a businessman and marketer, Marlon is also a 2-bar Olympian competing in the sport of judo in 2008 and 16. In Africa, judo is a massively underfunded sport, and Marlon had to pay his own way to the Olympic Games by growing businesses while traveling and competing around the world. So he understands the power of marketing in the right way, even on a shoestring budget. So welcome to you, our Olympian too. I did forget about that. So yeah, I'm sure it was quite exciting for you actually to even watch the latest Olympics, and also to see the entry of new sports. I think it's awesome that every sport gets some limelight on the press, and I think everyone deserves to be there. So share a little bit about your Olympic experience. Did you get a medal, or was it just being there was an awesome experience?
Yeah, I didn't get a medal. Twice.
That's okay. You made it twice, which is awesome.
Yeah, look, it's a hard journey. You really need to be competing all around the world. You need to go on the circuit and win some medals and get some points, and it was the best experience ever. I mean, yeah, I literally retired and then like, let's try it one more time, and it's 3-4 years of absolute pain, but the last Olympics was pretty cool because the girl that qualified came out of Tux, out of my club. Okay. So that was really awesome, and now we're working for the next group to qualify, and we were hoping to qualify more people. So it's a never-ending thing, and I believe like Olympic Games for me is really all about the human spirit, and just the fact that it happened in a time when, even though it was delayed and happened, I mean, the Olympic Games just speak so much to human resilience. So yeah, I love anything to do with sport, and the fact that there's new sports in the game is also very, very cool. It just opens people's eyes to more things, to more sports that their kids and they might never have seen. So yeah,
I loved it. I actually took half an hour every day and I watched the Olympics in the morning because that was the only time I could watch it. I didn't have DSTV. So I had to kind of catch the highlights and all the late events on SABC, but I made a point. It was phenomenal. I loved it.
For the whole time of judo, I was not working at all. I was so grateful for the fact that because of the timing, it's in Japan. So, you know, it's when we wake up until midday is when the finals were over. So I was like, at least I have half a day of work.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't even say what I enjoyed the most. I just loved it all. Although I'm a runner, as most people know, I didn't really enjoy the marathon part because that's quite boring. I really got into the bottom of all the nitty-gritties, the diving, the swimming. It was just really awesome. So
yeah. Okay,
so let's go on to a little bit about branding versus marketing, or however we want to capture that today. But let's start off with a little bit about Marlon. As we already know, he's an Olympian, but there's obviously more to that, and how story advantage really came to the fore.
Well, thanks for the question, Megan. So Story Advantage actually started as a company called Focal Shift Communications, and if you look at it, like a lot of brands, like they kind of make that mistake. Because I was thinking about Focal Shift Communications because we do all these things, and then and it was really agency based. You know, doing when I say agency, for people who don't know, it's like really trying to do everything: website development, social media, the automations, the email marketing, the ads. So it was really encompassing everything, where things changed.
So Marlon, maybe you just breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit there. I think maybe, do you want to put your video off for now? Hello, Marlon. See, this is the love of technology. We've got to go with it, and we've just got to see what comes out of it. So if you want to put your video off, Marlon, let's try that as an option. Or maybe go back, go out and come back in. There, something's coming. I hear something. There we go.
Am I back?
Are you back? You're alive.
Jeez, I don't know what's going on with my computer today, but I think I'm back now, right? Yeah, I seem to be moving.
Yes, there's laugh. Sorry, so yeah,
I'll cut it short, and so basically what I did was I really started to think about what I was good at, what I really love to do, because building an agency, you need a lot of people. And I realized really quickly, with like 3 years into my journey, that I didn't want to do that. In South Africa, there's this big divide between really high quality people, and then obviously the pay is according to that. So, and then setting up processes for people that are maybe junior or lower paid, I struggled with that. So I decided to move it to more of a consultancy and focus predominantly on helping people just get clear on that base messaging that they need. What is the base? Because a lot of businesses, they start shoestring, right? They're like, especially when they're starting, they're like, okay, I've got a product and I want to sell it. And then I can come in and help them just get clear on what is the messaging that we're going to be putting out there. What makes us different from everybody else? And why should people be buying this? What's the benefit to them? And really getting honed in on that. Decided to go to the United States and train with Donald Miller of Story Brand. If anybody wants to read the book, Building a Story Brand, it's a really great idea. It'll give you a good idea of how you can actually, especially if you've got an existing business or want to open up a business, how to actually reframe the way you speak about your business. And yeah, so that's what we end up doing, and ended up changing it to Story Advantage, because that's what I believe would make the difference from the normal, typical way of marketing, is actually developing a bit of a story around your brand, communicating in the way of story, because story is compelling. It's why we watch movies. It's why we engage in books. And when you can understand that and formulate your content in that way, it becomes more compelling and people start to buy.
Agreed. Yeah, and I love that you say, kind of finding your niche as well, because, everyone kind of starts out, well, maybe some of us, but we start out with this big vision of changing the world. And then we kind of go into that advertising space, and it's so soul destroying. Like you try and go back to that story, and then you kind of find yourself, no, you're just so focused on the implementation and the timing. It's like, I agree with you. And I think that's the similar journey that I've been on. Also, just going back to what it is that I want to do as an individual, and how can I make that change in other people's lives. So I love the fact that you have also kind of gone with what inspires you, what can you see yourself doing every day in and out, and then still making a change. So that's awesome. So let's go a little bit into the opinion part, because today is about an opinion, right? Because I've watched many videos about this myself, and I'm sure you have too. So in your opinion, explain what you believe is really the true difference between marketing and branding.
Yeah, thanks. So I also like this question. We get it often as marketers, and I think the schooling definition is very different to what it is in practicality in the world, and especially the way like marketing a business or promoting a business has changed over the years. For me, branding is really communicating more of the why, like how does, why we exist, how do we want people to feel when they see our brand? What do we want them to engage with when in terms of the feelings? It's got a lot to do with the feelings that you want to elicit from your customers and associate to the work that you do. Be it your logo, which is only like one small portion, be it the way you communicate, the colors that you use, that for me is how the branding element comes in. Whereas marketing is really just, how do we communicate our brand? What are the words that we use to communicate our brand? What's our actual message? How are we going to get people to buy this thing? What are the benefits to them? And what's that push-pull that we're going to be doing to get our customer to pay attention to our brand? And then, the brand will sort of sit with them over a longer period of time, hopefully, if the message is clear enough, if it's drummed into our brains enough, and they will recognize it. And that's the idea of having like colors that are unique yet associate to what you do, so that it can have that associative that likeliness, that they're all the same. Yeah. That's my opinion on branding versus marketing. But they're very much similar. They play on each other a lot. And if you ask, depending on who you ask, like from my perspective, if you heard my stuff, you'd be like, that guy's a marketer. Of course he's going to say it like that. but I actually asked someone that I perceived as more branding, and they gave me more of the branding answer, It's like, you need the branding in order to do the marketing. And I'm like, you need the marketing in order to do the branding. So it's really, really funny. Yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think that lends on to our next question. So then I'll give my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, totally. Like I'm actually running a poll on LinkedIn at the moment, regarding, does branding support marketing? Does marketing support branding? Do they work together? Does the one make the other thing more relevant? So but it's totally that I actually had a comment from a more brand expert kind of going the latter, like, no, actually branding is X, but kind of, I agree from a marketing perspective, we have a different view, and that's okay. Like, I'm okay with that. I'd rather be interviewing someone that's in marketing than branding, because otherwise this could become a debate. But let's talk about that. So yes, I have seen debates online. Actually, in fact, it was the one relevant video that I watched was actually related to Donald Miller, because they kind of said that Donald Miller's opinion of branding is very short-sighted. And
they're all designers, by the way. Yeah, I've seen that video. Yeah, they're all like primarily designers.
Okay, so in the likelihood of that, so they're kind of the view on branding and marketing. So I just want to ask you, do you agree with them that branding is insignificant to marketing, or do you believe they both have a role to play, or like go hand in hand? What do you think?
I think they both have a role to play, of course, because if you are, the way I see it is, if you giving the wrong feel, like, so generally with the projects that I do, I know I'm horrible at design because I don't know how to match the colors together. And there's a way that people feel when they're interacting with your brand, your company, when they're interacting with it. So the words have got to kind of, when they mesh well with the colors, it just becomes an awesome experience. And that's essentially what every company wants to do, right? They want to be able to engage the person, like, oh, that is striking, and want to go. So they have to play with each other. I think just to build context on the video is obviously, like, Donald was talking like in really short, it was a really short video that they were referring to. And he was just really saying that if you got the wrong words, it doesn't matter how beautiful your colors are, right? So that's why it's like, oh, that's a beautiful brand, but I don't understand anything of what they're talking about. So why would I want to buy? And that's why I say, like, I think they go hand in hand. Generally, most people start with their logo first, and then they go about it. But obviously, that's not a science. You got to speak to the branding experts to really get how can we communicate that. But I think they go hand in hand.
Agreed. Yeah. So my little opinion on that part then is, and it does, yes, I'm a marketer by nature, and that's where I come from, and worked with branding experts for all my life. But I totally agree, and it's probably my strong opinion on marketing and sales as well, which is another debate. But to be honest with you, I believe exactly what you've just said now in saying that Donald Miller's point was taking something to market without having thought through the marketing process of, who is our audience? What is it that we want to sell them? Like, why do they want to buy from us? Like, those are the things that marketing establishes. Branding encompasses and packages it and makes it beautiful so that we can then get the right people to engage and connect with us. So totally work together, but branding cannot work in isolation to marketing. And that's why I think a lot of us land up actually having work to do, because we typically get clients coming to us going, my marketing isn't working. And we're like, okay, cool. So maybe let's not ask what your definition of marketing is, but show us what your marketing is. And exactly that. It's brand, it's a beautiful logo, it's a beautiful website, but there's no positioning, there's no differentiation, there's terrible content. And that to me is where I believe marketing drives branding. But again, we have to work together, but we have to work from a base and to create that valuable content and then get the beautiful graphics. So that
100%. And on that, I've seen numerous beautiful websites that don't sell, but I've seen websites that are actually, they're not horrible. Let's not call it horrible. Let's just say plain. So plain that there's like, probably I would suspect that a branding expert would be like, you need some color in this thing. And those things sell more. So, because at the end of the day, people just want what they want. And if you give that to them, you're going to sell. But you can have the most beautiful thing on the planet and it's not going to do anything.
Great, yeah. Cool. So, all right. So let's move on to a bit of your speciality and area, and that we've got now that off our chest, and all the brand haters and the marketing lovers. But at the end of the day, we all got to work together, guys. That's the reality of us. And so moving on to the next one as the kind of, I've called the king of story. And not only the marvelous, the king of story. Jeez, I'm throwing these words out to you today, Marlon. Your head is
Look
growing.
at that.
So share with us some top tips that can help entrepreneurs and the like to help them tell a better brand story. I mean, I know it's a whole course on its own, but you know, just for those that are watching and for us to share with, you know, just some key things, because I think it's still an area that people get wrong daily. You know, just help us with some top tips.
Oh, sure. I think number one is, don't make it about you. I think if you really know who your customer is and you understand their problems and you're really clear on that, you communicate to that. A lot of companies talk about themselves. A simple example is, if you see most websites, they have they have that header section, and then below that it's right about us. This is what we do. This is why we're in business. Most people don't care about that, right? They want to know, but not immediately. They want to know more about them. So I'd say the first thing is really look at how you're marketing and saying, are you talking about your customer? Are you making them, are you customer centric? Or are you more talking about your product and why your product is amazing and that you got the cheapest price? Those might be reasons why they want to engage, but it's not any different from anyone else. So the first step is really just try and position things around your customer. The second thing is, a lot of people, and you know, marketing itself, I found marketing, people also confuse marketing and advertising. That's a whole other debate and a whole other conversation, especially in modern day where there's Facebook ads and Google ads and things like that. It's like, oh, we need to market, let's advertise. It's very, very different. And if you're going to be, another way that one can be picking up marketing, really doing better marketing, is just by communicating your business in a clearer way. So I would really suggest, like, what is your sales pitch? What is that one line that you can say to someone? Not a sales pitch as such. Let's call it more elevator pitch. That's, most people know that. Yeah. What is that one line that you can say that can communicate your business clearly, so that people understand what you do? I've been to so many networking meetings where people are saying, what was it? Oh, I do a lot of things. And wow. It's like, well, what's that? You know, depending on when you catch me, I do this and that and this and that and this and that. That's not clear. It's not clear. It's not helping me. I can't position you. And marketing is really about, it's really about taking real estate in somebody else's brain. Good marketing, using good words, is about, I know that Marlon is a marketer, or I know that Marlon is the story guy. And when you can position someone like that in your brain, you've really done well, because marketing is not what I say to you. It's what you repeat about me to somebody else. And then you know you've done great marketing. You know, so really try and get that one-liner really simple and clear. So when you talk about your business, you're talking about it in a clear way, and people can understand what you do and how you help people. Something else that I would suggest, a tip, is really just get clear. Oh, I mentioned it a bit earlier, but you know, I don't think I can mention it enough, is get clear on the problem. When you know what the problem is you solve, people can also position you. So then you know that this is the problem that most people have. So you make it, so you talk about it as often as possible. Contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, repetition is good. I believe that if you repeat a certain message over and over and again, that people will remember you easier, because we get so many messages every single day, all the time. If you are saying all these different words that most people don't understand, you are missing the mark. It's clearer to just say that same thing over and over. I help people create better stories. I help people create better stories. I help people, and not like all the time, just repeating it, but literally just using that and repeating it over and over again, because we know, just do it, you know. I just do it. We know exactly where it comes from, and they've drummed it into our brains. And I'd say, well, I did have a last tip that I wanted to share as I was talking, and now it's kind of slipped my mind. Well, I would say that there's a few things, but I would say really you got to also be clear on the transformation you bring a customer. See, this is the beauty of a story. Story is so great in that it transports us, it takes us from the problem where we are, that problem space, into the resolution where the heroes won the day. And we want to be able to do that in an image, in a few bits of text that we want to write down. We want to make that so clear. So just to what that would translate to in reality, let's just talk about your website. Your top part of your website needs to exactly explain all that other stuff you've got. Just take it out and delete it. It should just say what you do and how you help people, but in the frame of what, in how they would experience your brand. So give them an aspiration. You know, most people that you look at, people like Apple, companies like that, you know, their buyers want to be geniuses. Their buyers want to be better than. So I use this thing to help me express my imagination. And that is what you want to do. You want to create that with your brand. You want to give it to them right up front. This is how your life could be. So that's what I would suggest.
Well, I've captured a few, but I'll summarize them for a few people on the post. But basically, absolutely don't make it about you. It's all about your customer. Communicate clearer. Stop trying to say too much, rather say less. Kind of get to a one-liner, kind of, as you say, elevator pitch. Repetition is important, and there's no harm in being repetitive in what you say and what you do. And I actually believe in repetition because it creates almost like an expectation as well. So, and consistency is key. And then also using the right words and the right images to depict the benefits or the solutions that you can help your clients. At the end of the day, that they become the hero. So yeah, I think I've captured them. What do you think?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Love it. So totally agree with you. I think it's a mind shift for people. You know, advertising is not a Facebook campaign. Marketing will help drive your advertising, but your advertising needs to, again, as you say, speak to the right person with the right message at the right time. I guess that's what.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So, yeah. So just moving on as our last question, as we're all ready to get off onto our Friday, although I think we still have a few of us have some stuff to do. But if you had to meet a marketing mentor, or branding for that matter, who would it be, and what would you ask them, and why?
I definitely wouldn't ask a branding expert anything because. not that I, you know, not to down any branding experts, just I would be in awe of what they do. Just on that, like I was working with a team and I had made this landing page, but when the branding expert came and fixed it up, oh, it looked beautiful. Perfect. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, there we go. That's exactly what we needed, because my eye on design is horrible. But who I would definitely be, it would be Seth Godin. He's like the marketing king, and especially in my eyes. And I would ask him, because okay, I think marketing is already under massive change. Technology is changing the way that we market. And really, I would ask him around, what is it called? It's called marketing, like instant marketing. Let me just call it short like that. Instant marketing. The reason is because you know, everything's got to be marketed in context, especially today where we are. You know, I'm at a show, I'm being marketed about a show. I'm about the next show, or about another one that's coming out. But it's relevant. And it's not just that relevant, it's relevant to the fact that I've been at the show, let's just say it's a festival, but I'm liking this type of music more than the other type of music. And they marketing more of that stuff to me. And being aware where your customer is at the time that you market to them, I mean, like that for me is so fascinating. And I would definitely ask him what ideas does he have around that? And has he experienced it? How has he experienced it? I'd pick the heck out of his brain just around that, because I think it's super fascinating.
That's awesome. Love that. Okay, thanks for sharing. And I think, as you mentioned now, if we ever have the opportunity, I think it's just about absorbing, because I'm sure with you, you know, we have to learn all the time. Marketing changes, things change. And although we kind of all implementing the same thing at the same time, it's different, you know, and sharing, I mean, it obviously allows for so much more momentum, new ideas, and again, it's something that continually needs to grow and change, terribly change, even faster than ever before. So that's, I know I like Seth Godin myself, but I probably would say Donald Miller, because I've never had the chance of meeting him, and
he's awesome.
Yeah, you know, and I know that's obviously somebody that you've met. And then obviously there's like just the Gary V's of the world that I just want to go to him and say, like, how do you maintain such a positive attitude in your life every day? Like, how? And it's not just about the money. I can't be. It was before that, you know, like how? So yeah, let's leave this day thinking about who's out there, who we can learn from, and who we aspire to keep us going, and to continue as entrepreneurs. We all have this journey to go, and we all have the capability and ability to do it. So yeah, let's keep doing it. So thanks, Marlon. I've taken up quite a bit of your time, but I've really enjoyed chatting with you. Obviously, it's a topic that's very close to my heart as well, and I just thought it was quite nice to share with a like-minded marketer, and just love your work. So thanks so much for joining us today and sharing with us. And then yeah, next week we'll be joined by Candice Lucia from Orange Inc. talking about public relations, actually, and why it still matters, and how it also blends itself into marketing. So yeah, please, if you did, give us a comment, share the video for us, and then thanks again, Marlon. I'll see everybody again, same time, same place next week.
Thanks, Megan.
Cheers. Thanks, Marlon.
Cheers.